What is up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. So today we're going to continue working on the 2020 Toyota Supra, and as you've seen in the previous video, we finally figured out our power issue and we even got this thing started. All we had to do was buy a brand new battery and bypass the pyro fuse, and this sucker just fired right up. I gotta say, it runs absolutely perfect, and we even figured out the mileage. It's got some pretty dang low miles, which is awesome as well. And while it was started, I believe we did see some coolant leaking right there, which is pretty dang weird because there is ice cold AC in here, and usually the condenser sits in front of the radiator, so we really just don't know what's going on. Something weird, maybe like a hose popped off or something like that.
Yeah, and we did check the reservoir tank, and it was pretty dang full, which maybe it popped off while we were rev bombing this thing, you know what I mean?
Dude, this thing sounds pretty dang good for a stock exhaust, but we're gonna make it louder, but that's gonna be in the future.
Oh, for sure, definitely.
As of right now, what we wanna do is actually start digging into this front end just to see what's going on. And honestly, we do want to see if these parts are available, because this is a 2020 and parts may take forever to come in.
Hey,
you know
could
what I
take
mean?
1 day, could take 1 month. We don't know yet.
Exactly. And we are going to start taking this apart. We've never took anything like this apart, actually. This is pretty much a BMW, you know what I mean?
Hey, we never took apart a Toyota or a BMW, so I heard BMWs are pretty complex, so we're going to see how complex this Supra is up here, dude.
Exactly. Yeah, there's probably a lot going on here, and we're going to be looking for frame damage, hopefully no frame damage. And also, we just want to go ahead and get a parts list together, because if this stuff does take forever to come in, we're just going to wait on it, and we're going to jump onto the Trackhawk here. All these parts are finally in, so this is just kind of what works best for us, you know, just kind of jumping around. This is what works for our schedule. That way we can continue putting out content for you guys.
Yeah, because we don't want to sit there and wait for parts and won't have no content coming out for you guys, because, man, this thing is going to be a beast. Dude. This thing's going on the frame machine next, right?
Exactly. That's the very next thing that's going to happen, and then after that, it's going to start getting thrown together. We're going to, dude, it's just going to just come together.
Hey, just look at this, man. You got a turbocharged and you got a supercharged, two very different but unique builds, dude. This is going to be awesome.
Dude, two very awesome builds. I can't wait to get them both complete and just rip both of them. But as of right now, what we're going to do is actually just go ahead and lift this sucker up on some quick jacks, bring in some tools, and just start ripping apart this front end. Dang, dude, that's a weirdly shaped apron right there. You see how it like arches with the wheel well, dude?
Hey, that's pretty cool, man. If you had to replace that, you easily could, dude.
You think it'd be easy? It's all is it all riveted on?
It looks like this front part from right here is actually aluminum, so as you can tell, see those little rivets that actually screw in, so I don't know, that would probably be pretty difficult to replace.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. But as for the radiator support that we have that's damaged right there, it is aluminum as well, and it looks like it just unbolts right there. That's awesome.
Yeah, that should be easily replaced. Hopefully it didn't actually like push our aprons in, because when it bends down, these suckers will push in, but we'll just tell whenever we get our new one, and if the bolt holes line up, we're good to go. But
exactly.
Dude, check out this little fender right here. That's pretty neat, ain't it?
Oh yeah, what is that, aluminum? Yeah, that's going to be easily replaceable on the other side. Is our other side damaged?
Yeah, definitely. But dude, imagine this in carbon along with the hood, dude. That would look pretty dang sick,
dude,
wouldn't that?
That would look pretty sick, but I guess it may look kind of weird along with this door.
Yeah, so it could possibly just make this front end look like unpainted a little bit.
Hey, maybe we'll just go with the original hood and just do like carbon fiber diffusers and stuff like that, and little accents. Dude, I think it's clean.
What if we did the carbon fiber front, rear, and sides, dude? That would look
side
super
skirts.
sick.
Heck yeah.
But anyways, let's just keep on moving, see if we can get this front bumper off and this headlight. Dang, man, this thing is long.
Oh my goodness,
If that ain't
dude.
the longest headlight I ever seen in my life, I don't know what is, dude. That thing is huge, dude.
Dang, man, it sucks that it's a little bit cracked right there, which means we're gonna have to get 2 new headlights, but it's all good.
I looked up the value of one of these, and I think it's like $1,200 for one, dude.
One, wow.
Yeah, that's
dude.
expensive, man.
That's
but
crazy, but they got what, like 3 xenons in there, and this is the launch edition one that has little red accents. So
yeah, I wonder if all of them have red accents. Well, I don't know. Maybe it's just the launch, but dude, this thing looks expensive. Just look at all this stuff in the back here. I mean, just the extra foot right here is worth it.
right,
But
extra plastics right there. But look at what we found inside this inner fender. Some cool stuff. Look at that.
dude, we got I think this is a water to air
Intercooler?
cooler. So there's somewhere a water to air intercooler on this BMW. I don't know where it's at. We
On the
haven't-
Supra.
On the Supra. So I don't know where. Usually the like the BMW M4 will have it at the top.
Yeah.
This one probably has it somewhere else. But dude, it has a little air duct for the brakes, and I thought this was bent right here, but I believe this thing is shaped like that because if the air comes over here, it's gonna blow directly in there because the other side has the exact same thing. And we did have to take off the inner fender just to get the headlight off, which is like a BMW thing for you right there.
Right.
So hey, this thing is pretty cool though. You know, we're taking apart all this stuff.
Look at that suspension, dude.
Look at the suspension and look at that, what's it called? What would you call that?
Subframe.
Yeah, the subframe is all aluminum, which is pretty dang cool, dude. You know what I mean? But
Lightweight, dude. This car must be super lightweight, but
oh yeah.
the thing is just crazy, man. I can't even believe how long it
It's
is.
too long. But anyways, this side over here was actually damaged. That the suspension's kind of like pushed in. I don't know what's bent though, because we're looking at these control arms, and it's not like your normal upper and lower control arm. I believe the shock holds like the whole entire like knuckle up top, and then we have I believe this is a control arm, and that bottom one is a control arm, and they're just straight like
So right
sticks.
now we're just running some insane camber up front, right?
I don't know what's going on. We're probably gonna have to just completely disassemble all this to figure out why it's cambered like that. But I mean, there's something. Hopefully it's nothing too expensive.
I was just thinking, if we figure out why it's leaning like that and we get it straight, we could possibly even do our very first test drive probably here on the property, dude.
Hey man, if we can go back and forth, hey, we might even do that. May even do that just how it's cambered. You know what I mean?
Right.
Just get all this stuff out of the
Hey.
way, because it was like butting up against all this stuff, and it does rub the shock a little bit too. So that just shows how bad it's cambered.
But yeah, exactly. That thing is cambered like crazy. But there's still a little bit more to tear apart here, or a lot more. Look at this bumper, dude. It's like,
Man, this is like one of them drift bumpers, you
One
know
of
what I
them
mean?
drift
You just
bumpers,
take off
man.
your plastic bumper cover and you can go drifting with this thing. But dude, look at this. They got an air duct right here for the other, I think, water to air intercooler. I have no idea, or a little
or
intercooler.
oil cooler. I don't know what that is, honestly, dude.
And you got your brake duct cooler right here. Then up front, I think this is a tiny AC condenser. And then, I mean, you got your radiator right there. So the AC condenser is actually really small. So I believe that's why this one's leaking somewhere, because it actually got hit from the bottom. And it's leaking somewhere on this side. Do you see that?
Yeah. Ooh, okay.
So
But we're about to figure that out.
yeah, we're about to figure it out. Let's just go ahead and keep ripping apart this thing and see how far we can go.
All right, so check this out, guys. We've got a lot of this front end already torn apart, and we're not even halfway there. And as you can tell, we got a bunch of bits and pieces all over the place. We got some good parts and some bad parts. I gotta say, this thing is like a big old Rubik's Cube or puzzle, if you will. because you do got to take apart a lot of other things just to get to one certain little
Hey,
piece.
you got to
know
take
what I
like
mean?
50 things apart just to get to that one piece that you're trying to get to.
Dude, exactly. And the next thing that we're trying to get to is actually this radiator, and just to get to it, we got to remove the shroud. And just to get to the shroud, you got to remove this reinforcement bar slash radiator or slash frame rails, right?
Yeah, slash frame rails. I mean, there's like a foot of frame rail on it, so I mean that's a good thing. So if you get one hit in the front, make sure it ain't like a foot in. You know what I mean?
Exactly. Yeah, you got it. Like we mentioned before, you got this much crunch room right here, and you'll be good. But I think these frame rails actually just unbolt. They're aluminum, and they bolt onto some more aluminum, right?
Yeah, and it looks like we may have to remove these big old complex coolers on the side as well, just to get to the frame rails alone. I mean, that's what we had expected from this BMW Supra, man.
Exactly. That's what we're going to call it from now on. But anyways, let's just go ahead, keep moving, and try to get these radiators out. Oh my goodness, dude.
Double radiators.
Double radiators. How is that even possible?
I don't even know. I mean, is that a radiator for the turbo and one radiator for the engine?
Engine or
Because
something?
I see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 radiators or something like that. I don't even see the AC condenser anywhere.
That's weird, dude, but that's pretty cool. Look at, I guess that's like the AC condenser device or something. Maybe?
Something like that. It looks like it goes inside of there. Oh yeah, that is. That's a tiny little condenser, dude. That's BMW for you right there.
Is that what they do right there? Them little tiny
guess
condensers?
so.
But that is pretty cool how many coolers there are.
Oh yeah.
And I wonder what goes to what. We still got a lot to learn about this car.
I know, right? There's just so much going on, like so much rubber hoses that we don't know. And I didn't even notice this, but we just noticed that there's 2 reservoirs for coolant. So one has coolant here, one has coolant here. This one's kind of low. This one looks a little bit full. Let me go ahead.
Yeah, you go ahead and twist that one.
You see that one's
That's
full.
pretty cool, dude.
This one's kind of low. So whatever this one goes to, we have a leak in, because I believe we found the leak on this one. Go ahead and go down there and show them where it's at.
We got a little bottle right here collecting some of the...
You see them? You see that right there? Look at that.
Whoa. What? Oh, I guess since you opened that cap right there, it just started coming out. That's pretty freaking
That's
cool.
crazy.
But I think we could actually get this sucker repaired, or we could... What do you think?
I say we just go ahead and see if we can get it repaired before we buy a new one, you know, because we do have a company nearby that can repair stuff like that. So if
Yeah,
it
no
ain't
problem.
too crazy, they can just weld it up for us, and we'll save, I don't know how much that is, probably like $100 or
We honestly
something.
don't know the prices on this stuff. I think we should run to the dealership sometime. If we have time to make it today,
Yeah.
we'll go out there and see what some of these prices are. But I guess let's remove this radiator support, right?
Yeah, remove the radiator support, and
Everything else will just stay on here because we want to drive this car around. And I think we may know why our suspension is bent. We'll get to that later, right?
yeah, so let's just go ahead and see if we can pop this sucker off and I guess get to that suspension.
All right, so we just removed our upper radiator support, and check this out, man. This sucker is nearly cracked in half. This is aluminum, of course, so we're just gonna have to purchase a brand new one. But we did find our very first structural damage, and it's gonna be on the tip of this apron right here. Luckily, there is a couple support beams right here, so the whole thing is not bent downwards, it's just the tip. And I believe we could actually straighten that out here at the house. What do you think?
I mean, you see that hole right there? We can just slide something in there and just bend it right up. Should be pretty dang simple, dude.
Maybe apply a little bit of heat or whatnot, but it's just gonna come down to purchasing the brand new radiator support and just throwing it on top and see
Right.
if everything lines up, see if everything's level.
I think we'll be good on that one,
Yeah.
honestly.
I think that's not too sketchy. It should be easy fix. But as for the radiators, I did notice that they may be slightly bent. So it may be either the brackets at the bottom or it may be the radiators themselves.
Hey, we can straighten those suckers out if we really wanted to. I mean, them things are actually pretty like weak. You know
Oh
what
yeah,
I mean?
it's just aluminum. You could step on them or something, just
Yeah.
slightly bend them, and we'll straighten those suckers out. But we're gonna go ahead and move on to our suspension here, and I believe we found the issue. I think it's just the shock, and it slid within that knuckle. So what we're gonna do to straighten it out is actually unbolt this bolt right here, and hopefully just straighten this sucker right out. we finally got this wheel straightened out as best as possible. It was a little bit harder than we thought. We had to use a bunch of different tools. If you didn't notice, we used the hydraulic press or the whatever you call it, the little pump thing, and we straightened it out. We had to beat on it with the hammer. We tried a bunch of different things, but we finally got it to slide back into place. It was just so seized. I guess it got hit pretty hard, but I think we're ready to test drive this thing, dude.
Yeah, that's straight as possible, man. Only the alignment machine is gonna tell us the correct measurements, but for now, dude, we're good to at least roll this thing around easier.
Exactly. We've never put it in drive or reverse or anything
I mean,
like
I
that.
did kind of put it in drive that one time, but it like started making braking noises and stuff like that.
Yeah, I think it was like rubbing up against all this stuff in here. Hopefully it doesn't rub against this fender right here that's bent, which we'll probably take that off here in a little bit. But I say we just drop this sucker down, fire it up, and see if we can maybe do a couple burnouts in the driveway.
I wish, man. We got to see what that little coolant leak that we have, you know, we don't want to blow a turbo or something else, you know what I mean?
I mean, it's a slow leak. It's a very slow leak. We didn't have enough time to actually go out there and get it repaired, so we're just gonna have to just send it lightly for now. So let's just go ahead and drop it down and see if it'll drive. Dang, son, this thing looks pretty dang crazy as it is, because we just removed the hood just because it was all bent out of shape. We just wanted it out of the way.
Hey, man, this thing just looks cool now.
Looks cool, man, and she's ready to rip. I did notice that wheel is not 100% straight. I stood back.
Yeah, once we put it down on the ground, the camper kind of went back in there, so we're going to probably have to unscrew that and just pull it out a little bit more, but...
It is a lot better than it was, though.
Oh, yeah, way
that's for
better,
sure.
But, dude, we're ready to go ahead and put this thing in reverse and see what it does, man.
Put it in reverse, then put it in drive, and then floor it, pedal to the metal, and see
Hopefully, I believe something like the engine light's on. Hopefully, we're not in limp mode, but I'm just going to go ahead and
we
just
may be
figure
in
it
limp
out.
mode, because when we were revving it, it was
like super slow. Or that's just how the car is.
Heck, let's just go ahead and fire it up and see what we're doing, what we're working with, really.
Oh, yeah, man, we're working with a little
Band-Aid.
inline 6, right?
Inline 6, yeah, they're pretty powerful. I heard you can get 1,000 horsepower out of this engine right here.
Really?
Can you believe that?
Probably not gonna push it that far.
We're definitely not, but
we might.
We might if the circumstances come with the, you know, the right opportunities.
Oh yeah, definitely.
But yeah, just go ahead and fire it up and let's back her on.
See if that thing actually leaks coolant when I fire it up.
Okay, yeah, I'm gonna check on that. Hopefully it's not leaking right way. As of right now, we are good, dude. Oh, we're perfect, dude. We're good. 100%. 100.
Kinda got a weak turn radius.
Really?
Yeah, steering's kinda like tough too, you know what I mean? Like more sporty.
You get a little feel on it. Yeah, it's a little like what do you call it? Tough. I mean, it's kind of a good thing for cornering or whatnot. But I mean, it turns great. It goes into drive, goes into reverse. I guess just you're gonna try to.
Come on, do it, man.
Dude,
It's weak.
it's got to be in limp mode.
Definitely limp mode. I mean, we do have the engine brake, some parking brake, and a few other
Engine
lights
brake?
on. I mean,
Engine light.
engine light, and then parking brake. I mean, it's not in parking brake. It's just.
But the parking light is on.
Yeah, parking light's on. But I mean, let me just put the pedal to the metal.
Try to launch it a little bit. It is a little. Oh. Dude, that was by far one of the weakest launches we've ever done.
Dude, that was it, dude. That was
Really?
probably the weakest launch in history for us.
Exactly, yeah, that's what I was just saying. But I guess it definitely is in limp mode.
I want to probably put the computer to it and see what it says. You know what I mean?
Let's do that. Yeah, let's definitely plug up the computer. Just, I guess, park it backwards and let's see if we can reset some things.
Let's do it.
Dang, son. That reverse light is sick, though. All LED. Yeah, it's pretty sweet. Got a little bit of rubbage from the inner fender, nothing crazy. All right, so it looks like we got a pretty big leak here. We thought it was a slow leak, but it's actually coming out pretty quick. As soon as the car heats up, and when you're up on the revs, man, it just starts pouring out. But
Oh yeah.
you try to clear the codes, anything?
Nothing, dude. We don't have no luck with this new car, man. I'm guessing you might have to just go to the dealership on this one, you know?
Maybe, but
or we can just put everything together. I did pull up one code. It just said ambient air temperature, and I plugged it in, and it still didn't do nothing. Still in limp mode, pretty bad.
But we did discover something pretty cool. This thing has a wireless charging port for the iPhone.
Yeah, I didn't even know that, man, until I was going through here and it said wireless charging tray, and I was like, this might be it right here. And just
that sucker in there,
and a little blue light cuts on, which is awesome, dude. I always love the wireless charging, just like the GMC, you know. No other car has that, but now the Supra does.
That is awesome. Hey, that's one plus to this sucker right here. We're finding out about this thing more and more, but I guess as of right now, we're probably just gonna try to get that cooler fixed tomorrow, maybe.
Yeah, we're definitely gonna have to take that sucker off and just run it locally, and hopefully they can fix that sucker right up.
All right, so it is the next day here, and we're actually not gonna be able to get to that radiator and get it fixed because we are kind of running out of time. But that is pretty much gonna be a wrap for today's video. We got this thing completely torn apart, and we've seen all the damages. We know exactly what we need to order, and that's what we're gonna start doing, start ordering all these parts. And while we wait for all these parts to come in, we're probably just gonna work on the Trackhawk. But with all that being said, make sure your post notifications are on so you don't miss out on anything. And also be sure to give us a follow on Instagram where you can get an inside scoop before YouTube. And I do want to mention that we just got some brand new t-shirts on the website. We got the black and red just to match the Supra here. Super fire design, and it is a super comfortable t-shirt as well. There's not very many of them, so if you want one, definitely be sure to visit goonzquad.com and help support your boys. But with all that being said, thank you guys so much for all the love and support. Be sure to drop your comments and thoughts down below, and we'll catch you guys next time. Peace.